Again, stats aside, moving on. So yeah, this is just the category, and as you can see, the worst one is 11, but you're not going to do that for anyways. Cumulative mesos, already knew that. Cumulative probability, again, the chance of you going straight there with no fails. And then yeah, weapon value. And then I have, lastly here, the weapon value additional. So as you can see, weapon value is now slightly different than weapon charge. I'm calculating the amount of percentage that I'm getting per weapon. I think this is 15, 10, 5, 33, 1.25, respective to the weapons over here. And you have the weighted weapon value additional right here. So yeah, the best one clearly here is the 100%, which is at the end, which is 15. Kind of everybody knew that, but it makes it, yeah, the most effective because you're getting a 1-to-1 ratio for that last replacement. So I would just not use an additional weapon for the last one. All right, next up we have a few graphs. Just kind of like note the step up. I was trying to figure out and calculate this and managed to do it. I didn't post the last one for, I think, crystal fragments. We have success with additional weapons. First, let's discuss a really important fact. As you guys know, today is Wednesday. It marks the 4th week that Maplestory 2 has officially been out. So that means with 4 weeks and one of them being a double drop, you theoretically could get 150 dungeons total. But since you get 2 drops, it gives you effectively 300. And from what I've noticed, again, I'm not certain on this number, but I've seen that occasionally I do get my respective weapon more than, let's say, in another classes. All the other ones are kind of grouped together in the same percentage as a group. Like it's either I get mine or the other, and then a random other thing. So it's about 50%. Don't quote me on that. I don't really have all my dungeons. Once you get to the 30%, like I said earlier, this becomes an imitation of what would be like for 11. But what I'm trying to calculate is the percentage per weapon. As you progress on, this is good use to compare for when to use charges, because now you can have a good way to compare the value and the effective worth of the weapon that you're using in that very moment. So let's say for this one, I'm using all 8. My effective percentage per weapon is 3.75, which is, not the best, but it's not the worst, but pretty close to it. And again, what I'm trying to compare here is actually what the 12 and 15 is doing. So if you look here, for 12, it's good to just use at most 1, because it makes it so that your percentage per weapon is at 9% instead of 7.5. So you're getting a lot more bang for your buck for your weapons. And then as well as down here for 15, you have a 1.8125%, which is again better than the original applying that 1%. What I've compiled is like, so far, I don't know exactly what is the optimal path. That's ultimately for you to decide, because what happens is a lot of people have disagreeing views on what is a good percentage and what is not. It's all based off of a feeling. I've seen people go from like 20% all the way to like 90%, but they're like unwilling to do the last 10%. And I've seen people like settle for 51% and think that that's good enough. So I can't exactly say what is the right way. I can only give you a tool to kind of help you figure out that for yourself. Okay, so what is the tool? So down over here, we have probably the most useful portion of this entire fake Excel page. And here you can modify anything that's in the blue. Not this here exactly, it was more to just highlight and gauge your eyes over it. So we can change this whenever you like. I kind of just entered weird numbers. This is kind of like a theoretical what if scenario. So if you change this, we'll change the entire graph along with all these other ones over here. This is the ones over on the right are essentially this 10 inclusive one. So this is kind of like a permutation grid. So if you go over here, and this is a 2. So this again is basically the central probability equation that I had from the page 1. So this is probably me getting at least 1 in 2 tries at a 40% rate. But let's say I succeed, then I can be able to move down, and then it works for all of this. So let's say you're at trying to get 10, and let's say it takes you 3 tries, and then now you're wondering what the probability is of you getting to there and getting 11, then it would be 23.52%. Again, this doesn't explain causality moments of percentages. So right here, this is 11, is pretty clean. It's not affected by the previous one. Same thing for the 12, 13, 14, 15, if you really care about understanding the percentages, kind of to give you peace of mind and how to navigate through using your enchantment charges and your weapons. Obviously, save all of your charges, save your weapons, and I would say either use one weapon on 12 or none at all. I'm really curious as to what would happen if you did none and just kind of just farm your points that way, because then you're effectively gaining the most charges for your weapons. So that way you can farm it. And again, so for 15, the best effective way to do this would be to keep it at 16. So that way you have a 29% chance of succeeding without using that extra one, and then just using charges instead. That way you can save at least a weapon for a future attempt, just in case. And I'll probably skip 11 too, just because it's so, I mean, you're getting such a high value regardless. So by adding weapons, I feel like you're just going to be decreasing it, because anything here is not worth it. Because right here it shows that you get 0.5 charges, so you get half of a charge per weapon. So it's, if you get a few there, it's actually pretty bad, unfortunately. But don't use any of the charges here, because you're also effectively making your success rate lower, and also you're not getting the most out of your charge. So all I probably have left is fill in the charge, maybe some meso count at some point to see kind of what would be more expensive meso wise as opposed to weapon wise. Might be good to kind of do a analysis on that. If you guys find any mistakes, feel free to let me know. I'm still human. I make mistakes. I spent a lot of hours on this, so I probably goofed up along the way. Yeah, that's it. If you guys want to see certain other information or have any questions regarding this or a certain guide that you want me to create, let me know. I'll be more than willing to attempt at it. Do my best to give you guys really polished information and best techniques in this game. What else? Oh, I'm thinking of doing a giveaway in the future. I'm not sure just yet. I'll probably do it around 100 subscribers. For anyone that is subscribed to me before this video, I'll probably give you guys extra tickets just to kind of boost you guys' early on dedication to me. Thank you for all the love. I'm doing this just to give back to you guys. Actually, if anything, all of this is for you guys. So hopefully you guys enjoy and have a great day. Hopefully you guys are preparing for Legendary, and yeah, happy Mapling.